time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning and welcome to this June 22nd edition of City Beat. I'm Stuart Walter with my guest, Deputy Mayor Kathy Valentino. It's a beautiful day. It wasn't so much a few hours ago, but the sun's come out now.
I know. We always talk about the weather, Stuart. Blue sky right now, I'm looking at it.
Well, living, especially here in the north, the weather seems to be a very prevalent topic at all points throughout the year.
Yes, it sure does.
Now, something that's been very talked about throughout the city is City Council. We won't go into details, but the one thing that I want to touch on is just for a very short portion on the decorum in council chambers. Now, I talked with Mayor Fensky about this a few months ago when the whole fiasco about conflict of interest was going on. There's a few times he had to remind everyone to behave, and that was the exact same thing on Monday night, except a bit worse than it was before. Could you just give a very short reminder about people about how they should behave during council meetings?
Absolutely. Well, ultimately, the mayor is the head of council, and the respect is given to the mayor. So it is his call if he needs to remind public of how their actions are during council meetings. It is also the mayor's decision if he feels that someone should be removed from council meetings from the public gallery. So he has that say, and it is his final say. It can even get to the point where the RCMP could be called to have people leave the council chambers if that's what the direction of the mayor is at the time. I think it's important for public and for councillors and for people in general is that we have to understand that there has to be respect for a city council meeting at all times, and there should be respect for mayor and council, as the respect is also being given to the duties and the operation of the municipality. That's ultimately what is happening with city council meetings. So the public needs to respect that there is business being conducted and there's business being done to run this municipality, and that's where the respect has to be given by the public at all times.
Now, moving on from the fun part of council Monday evening, city's getting a new website. It's been talked on City Beat before, but not for a while. Why does the city need to change the website, and why is it so important to update it?
Okay, well, our contract had ran out with, I think it was Vision, to be our server and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big techie person. So, and our website is dated, and it's limited now to some of the things that we can put on there and some of the manager parts of managing our website. So it needs to be updated, modernized, and it was a good time since the contract had run out.
Now, throughout the whole process, I noticed it seemed like it was an easy decision for council to go with AllNet for the city website. Why is that? AllNet,
not obviously, but they were the lowest bid or lowest tender for the contract. But not only that, but AllNet, that is their specialty, is they just work on municipality websites, and they also are a part of our meeting minutes and agendas, so we access them also to get our information. So they really are in the municipality business of websites and the minutes and all that kind of aspect.
Now, something else that I know you were pretty excited about is there's going to be hopefully a new way to pay for things when it comes to booking things with the city. We're getting new recreation software. And like I said, you're vocal in support of this. What's changing?
So I'm very happy about this because not only can we start to pay online, but we can book online with the recreation. And I've said that for many years that most places that you can go online and book an hour of ice and just pay for it. Here, you always had to go down there or phone someone, and then you had to go down and pay before you used it. So this is bringing us into the 21st century, that somebody wants to book one of the multi-purpose rooms for a birthday party, which is a very common thing. It's busy down there. Then they have the ability to do that online. So I think that's great, and I have been all for this. And now that was part of it, right? So that we got this new software and the ability that people are going to be able to book with the rec facilities online. The second part of it was, do they pay online or do they have to come down and pay in person? So now we've got through that process where you will be able to pay online also. So we had to decide on costs for if you're going to use your debit or credit card, things like that. So that's all done. So the rec staff's being trained on everything. So just keep I guess, going to our website to see when it's going to be launched and ready to go, but it's in the very, very, very near future. Everything will be up and running. Maybe at the same time the pool opens. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Be a good thing. Yep.
But it'll be nice to be able to, as you said, come into the 21st century with terms of the city and be able to pay online when you can book online instead of having to, like you said, call somebody and go down in person and just take a lot more time than it should probably take.
Absolutely. That's old school. Like, I am really excited about this. It's a good thing.
Now, moving on from events from City Council, what is the latest update on street sweeping?
Street sweeping. So street sweeping has been a slow process, no doubt about it, this year for us. Part of the reason was we have 2 street sweepers. Because of the pothole situation, we've only had 1 crew on the street sweeper, and we've had to have 1 crew get onto the potholes. So we've been running a small shift for street sweeping. So I actually saw this morning that I'm on Pelican and Westwood had started. They hadn't anticipated that until Friday or Monday. So Burntwood is done, or going to be done today. They've started in Westwood, and then the last 2, unfortunately, is still going to be Deerwood and Riverside. I don't know in what particular order, but that will be the next 2 places that they go to. So we do appreciate everybody's patience, because it's just been part of the combination of the weather and everything that's happened with us.
Now, line painting, is that going to be continuing at some point? I know I've been seeing more crosswalks being painted, even just right here outside the station. Is that going to continue? And is there going to be any time throughout the summer where crews are going to get out to paint the roads?
So how it works is, right now the pedestrian crosswalks are being line painted, as you've seen. Whenever it's not raining, we'll have them painting the pedestrian line crossings. And the part, like the actual road, like the yellow lines and stuff, that comes from MIT. So that's not the city that does that. That is when we are told that they are coming into the city to do that. And as of this morning, they are expecting them not to be here until towards the middle of August. So hopefully when they do get here, the weather's good, because we've had the situation before that they do arrive into the city, weather isn't good, they leave us, they don't come back, because they continually do that throughout the city. So that's not us that does that, that's MIT, and they will be here mid-August to do our roads.
Now, yesterday was National Indigenous Day. How do you feel the day's festivities went? I was down there. It was beautiful weather, just a fun time.
Yeah, it was great. And I think it's interesting now to note that the Prime Minister actually has declared it to be National Indigenous People Day. So that, I guess, is how we will refer to it moving forward. I thought it was great. Like, they put a lot of effort into that, and it was very, very good. And I think I was at City Hall early in the morning yesterday, and they had done their sunrise ceremony, but they have everything very, very structured with the next event, and the breakfast was going on, and they were setting up for the lunch. I thought it was great.
What was your favorite part of the day?
I loved how they do is it the grand entry? Is that when the grand entry and those kids in their outfits, how they were all done up and they did their little dance and that. I really liked that. And one thing I really thought was good was Gelida spoke, Gelida Lajmodier, and because the Wampanoag class sang O Canada in Cree, and she made a comment that next year the French school, and I'm sorry I can never pronounce your name properly, but that they should sing it in French, because the Métis, they are really the French. So I thought, that's a really good point.
Just to be more inclusive to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's what it's all about, is we're all Canadians and we're all inclusive and we're celebrating them. So I thought that was a really good point of hers.
Why is it should go without saying, but why is it so important that the city mark the day every year?
Well, I think, not just the city, you could see it across the nation yesterday. If you're on a Facebook page for other communities, everybody was doing it. So, I mean, is it important for the city? Yes, but I think it's important for all of us as Canadians that we celebrate this day, not just for the city of Thompson. Obviously, I think we are a leader in some of our things we do, like the Aboriginal Accord. The city of Winnipeg just signed theirs the night before, on the 20th, and they used ours as an example to follow, and so did the city of Edmonton. So we're definitely a leader when it comes to partnering with the Aboriginal Accord and partners. So I think that's a real feather in our cap for here in the city of Thompson.
Moving on to more exciting things, Nickel Days.
Love it.
The official president's reception was last night, and then today is when everything opens up, goes all weekend. When does things get underway today? So I was at the Nickel Days reception last night, as I did see a few of you there also. Had my first time ever out of the Nickel boot. It was very good there. I liked it.
was a good event. So, that Nickel Days committee, they work hard. So everything opens today. I'm not sure what time the midway, I think it's not till 4 o'clock, right?
Sounds about right.
About 4 o'clock.
We're being told it is 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock is Select Shows. I met the owner of the Select Shows last night at the reception. 49 years he's been doing this. So that opens today at 4. And then they have flyers and information, website, Facebook pages, like it's everywhere. It came in the newspaper. I'm sure you're going to get it in your mailbox again tomorrow in the Nickel Belt. So the events just go all day. Softball tournament starts tomorrow morning, I believe, at 9 at the fairgrounds. So there's lots going on.
What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, as I was saying last night at the Nickel Days reception, I grew up on Pickerel, right on Westwood Drive. So Nickel Days was in my backyard, right? I loved it. So just the fact that it's here is my favorite, but I also had a soft spot always for the parade. So Nick DiVirgilio, and he used to work a lot with Herb Kruger from KB Insurance, and many crib games, and they've done that Nickel Days parade for years and years and years. So that's always a memory of mine. One thing I do want to put out there, and I forgot to mention this last night. I'm looking at Paul because I should have remembered talking to Bruce, but it's interesting beforehand when I was talking to Wendell and Nick DiVirgilio, nobody knows exactly the date or how many years Nickel Days has been on. They have a hard time finding like a picture or when it first started. So I put that out there. I'll put that out there right now to the public. If any of you people you old timers, like we like to say here in the city, if you have any dates or if you have any pictures, I really think that they would appreciate it. They had some stuff last night saying 1966 was the parade. So I think that we should try and get a joint effort here and get them some information, and let's find out how long this has been going on. Because we do a terrible job of that in the city. The history and how long stuff is, and I'm cutting you off, I'm sorry.
It's fine. You're the one here to talk, not me. And for people like me who are new, and this is going to be the first time experiencing Nickel Days, what other than the parade, some things that shouldn't be missed?
Well, you have to go to the King Miner contest. That's pretty neat because, for me, I'm not familiar with the mining world, right? Because nobody in my family was miners. So that's really interesting to see. That's something that you should definitely take in. You and your wife go to that one. And the food booths, that's always neat because some of them will have some authentic different food booths there. The social. You got to go to the social. Excellent. 5440. Not very many socials take place in the arena, so you got to go to that, right? I don't know. Those are some of the. Just go down there. You'll see lots to do.
Now, after that, it's going to be Canada Day. Going to talk about this more next week. But what's going to be going on here in Thompson for Canada Day?
Okay, I got my little
Canada
list
150.
because Canada Day 150. I mean, it's pretty cool to think. I bet you every place in Canada is going to be putting something on. That'd be something like you think all the fireworks in Manitoba at midnight. Talk about drone shots. Everybody should get a group one.
Get on Councilor Foley for that.
Exactly. I might have to. So Canada Day 150 celebrations. We have a 150 committee that's been looking for volunteers. If anybody wants to help out for Canada Day 150, they can contact the rec department. And it's going to start at 9 a.m. in the CA Nesbitt Arena and down at the VRCC Fairgrounds down there. So they always put on a pancake breakfast to kick off the City of Thompson's Canada Day. Councillor Spook does a lot of work for that. So that's at 9 a.m. when everything starts. I have a quick run through of everything. They have a rubber space guy coming in the football field. I'm not exactly sure, but it sounds interesting. The official opening ceremonies are going to be at 11:30 for Canada Day. Usually they're in the evening. This year they're at 11:30. I think that's a great idea. We have Folklorama happening. We have a Playland happening. We have a hot dog lunch, which the RCMP are putting on. So I think that would be a good thing to support.
Never a shortage of free hot dogs in Thompson.
Never. It's a hot seller hot dogs. Look at that. Diamond Dance is dancing. Aurora Dance is dancing. We've got the rubber space guy on again. Some teen races. And, of course, there will be a fire show in the parking lot. And then we'll have the fireworks at around 11. So it's a big day of activities. You can find everything on our website and our Facebook page. And as we get closer, they'll be putting more stuff out.
Now, there's some other things that you wanted to talk about here before we wrap up.
I do. I always do. I always got a few things I want to say. Public meeting. We're hosting this Monday night, 7 p.m. at the Lecterman Theatre. This is being hosted by the city. We invite the public to attend. We are going to just discuss some of the projects, but some of the things that we're working on as a city in regards to the mitigation and efforts for the valet announcements of Birch Tree and Smelter and Refinery. So we want to update the public on that. So that's at 7 o'clock. It's very informal, just a bit of a public meeting to keep everybody in the I know conversation of what's happening and what we've been working on. And also, we have the Artie Parker graduation, which is taking place on Wednesday. Safe Grad is happening, and we always encourage the Safe Grad efforts of the committee. We want everyone to be safe that night. Danny Morris down at Mystery Lake Auto Body is looking for volunteers. So we really encourage citizens to want to step up and help out because it's very important we keep these graduates safe.
And listen to Thompson today for more information on SafeGrad.
Oh, look at that. I'm ahead of the time with you guys. That's right. That's right. So those are two really important things for me that I wanted to definitely speak to with you guys.
So everyone, make sure you head on down to Nickel Days, as that catchy jingle says every time it's played, happening today and all day this weekend. Canada Day is coming up soon. Keep an eye on the city website and Facebook page for the latest information. Thank you for coming in, Kathy.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend.
If you have any questions you'd like answered on next week's City Beat, email them in advance to CHTMnews@arcticradio.ca. For City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM, I'm Stuart Walter.
City